If I lost everything tomorrow and I had to rebuild my car rental business from scratch, here's exactly what I'd do differently. Guys, I'm talking about the streamlined version, no wasted time, no fluff, no expensive mistakes, just the exact blueprint that will get me from zero to $10,000 per month in the fastest time possible. Guys, I've built over a $7 million car rental business. I've helped over 1,700 students do the same, even higher than that number. And after seeing every mistake possible in the game, guys, I know exactly what works and what's just a waste of your time. If you're starting from scratch or you're stuck right now where you're at, this is the no BS roadmap that I'd follow today. So let's jump right into it, guys. First off, let's talk about how I would buy my first car the right way. Okay, so guys, it's important to have the right buying strategy, right? So coming in there, I know you guys, you have all these ideas in your head. You want to go buy a bunch of black cars or a bunch of EV fleet, or you want to buy a bunch of Lamborghinis. Or before you do all of that, pause. All right. I would personally, if I had to do it over again in 2026, I would start off with one economy car, a car ideally between the $5,000 range and the $10,000 range. Nothing fancy at all. All right. If I could even go cheaper, I would. Why? I want to test the market, right? I want to just see if there's proof of concept, if it'll work in my area. Obviously, for doing economy cars, especially following the strategy I'm going to give you guys here today, it'll work at any city across the country. I would go buy me a cheap economy car, preferably a cash car. How would I buy it? So, well, where would I buy it? I would go anywhere. Go to Facebook Marketplace. That's the easiest place to go find one, right? Just check your local Facebook Marketplace or any small dealerships. I'm not talking about the huge franchise dealerships. Go to these small, no-name dealerships, and then they have auction access, and they have a clean economy car that's cheap. They're willing to negotiate with you. They're in your price range. As long as it's not a salvage or rebuilt title car, I would go pick that up. All right. I'll go get something that I know that my avatar would want. By avatar, I mean my target audience, who I want to market these cars to. For the economy cars, I prefer going for gig economy workers. And so I'm thinking, what kind of cars do they like to drive? And then I'll go buy that kind of car, right? Obviously, it's going to be something more fuel efficient, something that's reliable. It doesn't matter if it has 300,000 miles on it. It still works very well. Preferably a car that, even if you had to replace the engine, it wouldn't cost a whole lot. You could easily just any car that you're thinking about buying, throw it into ChatGPT and ask it, if this is a reliable car, what do people say about it on the internet? What are the more common problems that it typically has? And ChatGPT will break that down for you, so you have the right information before you jump into the sale. Then next thing is, if say I was buying, you could also do auction access if you have access to that. But then for my first car, that seems like overkill. I'm not going to go do all of that. Right now, if I was looking at getting into maybe luxury cars, higher end cars, exotic cars, I would go buy the oldest year of the newest body style. Right, that's a strategy that always works for the luxury and exotic cars. With the economy cars, doesn't really matter. Most people don't care what the body style is as long as it's reliable. But if I was doing the luxury and exotic cars, I would do that. Right, just go buy the oldest year of the newest body style, and then that way you're not eating up all that depreciation. And guess what? It's still going to rent for the same amount of money as a newer body style. Case in point, if you were looking to buy a BMW i8, it's an amazing car. The doors lift up. It's a hybrid, right? But guess what? Instead of going out there to go buy the 2020 version that costs almost $80,000, the 2014 version looks exactly the same, both inside and outside, and it's almost $50,000 to $60,000 cheaper. I would go that route instead. And then why pay 3 times more when the customers can't even tell the difference? All right, and then you can charge the same price. However, now you have the cars, you've gotten either a cheap economy car, either a luxury car if you're starting to go luxury. In my case, I would advise that, I would go economy starting off, and I'll advise you do the same just to test. That's all we want to do here. We want to test the market, right? Now, how much should you spend to get up and running, right? Typically, that's what I love about the car rental business. It's not a lot of stuff that you have to invest in just to get money flowing in, right? Typically, once you have the car, you get insurance on the car, and you get a GPS tracker that probably costs you about $100 to $150, or some of them, you don't even have to pay for the equipment. They just charge you like a $20 monthly fee, and that's it. And then you need rental software, and those have free trials, or you just pay $97 to $150 for a rental software. Some go as high as $200, $300 after the trial period. You can't beat that. So all in, I'm probably looking, the car, maybe it's a car, I got the car for say $5,000, got a insurance for maybe $200. Well, if I'm going the commercial route, probably $80 to $110, $20. And then, or if I was doing regular insurance on my car, it's probably costing me somewhere around $150 to $200. The Jeep's tracker is barely costing you $20 to get that. $220. And rental software, which is like an extra $97. You're looking all in less than $5,400 just to get started in this business and start printing money, right? And so now that we've done that, we've gotten all the basics covered. We have the core essential things that I need to start. Now let's talk finances, like revenue. How much should this car start to make for me every month? Now, obviously, if I'm doing economy cars, the benchmarks that I follow on the low end, like let's just say you're in the smallest city out there, should be looking to make minimum $1,000 per month. On the high end, you're looking to make at least $1,600. I've seen people make as much as $2,300 per month on each economy car if you run it right. Okay, so that should be a ballpark figure. So now think about the cash on cash return on that. You just spent $5,400, give or take, to get this car, and then within a month you're already netting anywhere from $1,000 to potentially $1,600 a month. Meaning in 3 months only, that car is completely paid off. I don't know any business out there that can give you that level of cash on cash return. Even real estate can't do that. All right, and so that's why I love this industry, guys. And so that's how to get the cars. So that's the first thing that you guys need to do getting started. Next thing would be, how do I get customers fast? All right, now I'm going to give you guys the real information on how to do this. What's your customer strategy? All right, now would I even touch Turo? Maybe for the first 30 days maximum. If I had the jitters, I didn't feel comfortable going 100% private, maybe I'll dabble in Turo, right? Just to prove that the car works. And then also, just like I said, just to get the jitters out, right? Get the car out the door and start bringing in some revenue, right? Recouping my initial investment. I'll smarten up. And then I'll leverage Turo's $1 million marketing budget. And, anytime a customer rents from me when they're trying to renew, I'll flip them over to the private side, right? Maybe you just leave them business cards, or you just text them before the trip and say, hey, I can offer you guys a little discount if you guys rent directly from me on a renewal, right? A lot of that goes a long way. Now you start building up your private book of business. Okay, so that's the easiest way that I would get started and leverage Turo to do that, right? And then you can also, once you're comfortable and you want to start going full private, there's several local marketing strategies that actually work, guys. Now, I always tell, like for me personally, when I first started my car rental business, I was out there shaking hands and kissing babies, all right? And I still believe in guerrilla marketing, right, till today, all right? So what are a few places that you guys can go to go get customers? Go to your local body shops, right? Go network with them. If you could lock in a good body shop, you are set for life in the car rental business. If you lock in a really good body shop that does good numbers and they love you and they rock with you, and man, you're getting deals almost every day. And these guys are keeping these cars long term for a while, several weeks at a time. And you might even get it set up to where insurance just pays you directly. All right. That's the perfect scenario. So you can do that with body shops, mechanic shops, right? Go post on Facebook Marketplace, go network with local hotels or valets, right? So just go out there and go shake hands and get to meet people. That would be one of the fastest ways to go out there and go start drumming up business for this. Facebook Marketplace even should be enough to get you a lot of business. Just once you post your car on there. Obviously, when you go into the body shop, take them some pizza, right? Go introduce yourself, have your business card or whatever, and let them know who you are. Let them know, maybe pull up in one of the cars in your car, right? The new car I just bought, I'll pull up in it and just, get to know them as a person, right? Maybe even do some business with some mechanic shop. Get them to do your oil change or something, right? And lock in with them. So it's quid pro quo, right? They're not just sending you business, but then also you're giving them business too, right? That's something else perfect example. Like right now today, the mechanic shop that services a lot of my high-end cars, my Lamborghinis and stuff, we've been using him for years. And then, hey, all of a sudden he was like, and that's after building up that relationship for several years, he was like, hey, it seems like you guys are doing really good business. I really like you guys. I've been wanting to buy a G-Wagon. I was thinking, hey, can you guys make it to where my G-Wagon is free for me? We could do that. We can help you. So now we built that relationship. And so he went out there and bought a white G-Wagon. We told him specifically what to get and what color, and he gave it to us. And it's been with us for over a year now. And he's barely had to make a payment on his car, right? He loves that. So that's how you build relationships with people like that. And so now when they have people that need rental cars, they'll send them to you. Okay. So that's what I would do in this scenario. Just go establish relationships. Just talk to them. Just got to be a social butterfly. And now this is where a lot of people give up. Right? Maybe you go to one place. You just go to one mechanic, the closest body shop to you. You introduce yourself, and then crickets. Then all of a sudden you throw your hands up. Oh yeah, Mike's advice doesn't work, and then you give up, right? A lot of people do that. They don't follow up, and they quit after the first no that they get, right? You guys, you have to get used to having doors slammed on your face. You have to get used to people. Hey, people have their own lives too, right? Sometimes they just forget about you, right? But then you just never know. It could be that one person out of 10 is all it will take to change the trajectory of your business. Okay, so just keep on following up with them. Even if you've met them before, show up again maybe in a week or so just to refresh their memory. You just never know, right? And then all of a sudden, once that door opens up to you, it's open forever. Okay, and so guys, now if you're watching this and you're thinking, man, I want to do this, man, but I need help doing it, I've got something for you guys. So just click the first link to book a call with me and my team to see if you're a good fit for our mentorship, guys. This is only for people that are action takers. You have to be investment ready to invest in yourself. You have either credit or cash, liquid cash, ready to join my mentorship. This is not for brokies. If you can't afford it, guys, please don't book a call. This is only for people that want to collapse time and don't want to have to figure this out on their own. We don't make any guarantees. I don't know you from a can of paint. All I know, you could be the laziest person on earth. I don't know your driver. I don't know your motivation. I don't know what gets you up at night. And so I cannot guarantee you results when you guys come in here. No, instead, all I would do, I'll guarantee that me and my team will give you everything, all 100%, all the resources that you need to succeed, and then give you the execution, hold you accountable. At the end of the day, information on us, execution on you. All right. And so let's jump right back into the video and let me talk about principle number 3 that you guys need to definitely follow I would follow if I was starting my car rental business over from scratch. All right. And so I'm going to talk about the key principles that actually matter in this business. All right. First off is going to be buying and pricing. All right. These are two important things to know. And I see a lot of people make mistakes here. Right. You buy a car, right, but then you don't know how to price the vehicle. Okay. So let's just say you have a luxury car. How do you price a luxury vehicle? Typically, we go by 0.5% of what you pay for the car. And that's what we would charge per day. All right. Back in the days, we used to charge up to 1%. Now the market's a little bit more competitive. The industry standard is about 0.5%. So if you have a $50,000 car, 0.5% of that is going to be $250 per day, depending on your city. Now in Dallas, we might be able to push that a little bit more. If I have a $50,000 car, most likely I'm renting that out for $399. Okay, but that's a benchmark for you to know how to price your vehicle. Now, if you're in Miami, places where there's a mad competition, then you're probably going to be closer to the 250, right? If you're doing the economy cars, I'm not the biggest fan, as you guys know, of the daily rentals and charging $30 a day to rent your car. I just feel like it's peanut money, a Starbucks money, right? I would prefer you make it more long term, and then that way people pay you, say, $400 per week or $350 per week or $500 per week, depending on where you live. I would prefer that you go with that model. That way, at least you can predict your revenue for the month and you can plan your scale accordingly versus depending on these daily rentals and you never know when they're going to come in and when they're not coming in. And as the money is just so little, it just leaves your bank account as quickly as it comes in. Another thing too, and another mistake I see a lot of people making that I wouldn't make if I was to start over from scratch is I'm not going to try to commoditize my vehicles and commoditize myself based on price. What do I mean by that? That means just competing on price. I want to be the reliable guy. I want to be the premium business, not the price sensitive, the cheap guy. I don't want to be the cheapest car rental business on Facebook Marketplace or the cheapest car rental business in the area. All right. A lot of people fall into that trap. They get too desperate and then they just start slashing prices. And then it becomes a race to the bottom, kind of like what Turo is. I don't want that. Instead, I would just wait. Because at the end of the day, I always hear this, oh, Mike, well, the people in my area are all pricing their cars for $100 a week. Well, they only have so many cars. So let them rent out those cars for $100 a week. And then guess what? All the other people that need cars in that area will be forced to come to you to pay your price. You don't have to compete with them on price. You keep your standards. Hey, guys, there's a dollar store. And then there's also Walmart. And then there's also Target. At the end of the day, there's enough room. There's enough demand in the market for you to not have to be the lowest tier, the lowest cost business out there. All right. Target is still very profitable, even though they're way more expensive than your Walmart. Sprouts is still way more expensive. Whole Foods is way more expensive than your Kroger. And they're still in business and they're still printing money daily. So I don't want you guys going out there having that mindset that you want to be the cheapest person. It's always, I think that's lazy sales to just think you should just discount everything. All right. Now, another principle that really matters is, guys, buying the right car. And I think this matters more than everything else. Like Warren Buffett always says, profits are made on the buy, not on the sale. I'm a big advocate of that, right? So knowing the kind of car to buy and buying it at the right price is key. So I would make sure I'm buying this car at the right price, trying to squeeze, even matter of fact, getting it less than 5,000 if possible. That way this car is paid off for me in just a few months. Or if I'm going for a luxury car, making sure that I'm looking nationwide and seeing based on that year, make, model, body style, and the mileage of the vehicle, I'm making sure that I'm right within the same prices as all the other ones that have the same similar features, right? The same data, right? I don't want to be overpaid for my car because I'm too desperate or I was too lazy to extend my search beyond my city, right? Don't get caught up. I see a lot of people make that mistake. They fall in love with the vehicle that they see at the lot down the road, and they just ignore common sense, and they think, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm going to rent this out, and so I'm going to still make money on it. Or because you always wanted a specific car, you go mess around and go buy that, not thinking that maybe your avatar doesn't even like that vehicle, right? So it's just thinking in that way and not making those mistakes, all right? So now let's talk about the kind of revenue that you're going to be making, all right? So let's talk about the real numbers to hitting 10K per month, because I'd say 10K per month, when you start bringing that in, that's when you know this is a good business, right? This is a business that maybe you could even fire your boss because of, right? Once you pass the 10K a month level, that's enough to pay for the mortgage, pay for your car, your wifey's car, all right? You guys are living and have some money left over for the kids, right? I think 10K is a good benchmark. When people come in here and they say they just want to make $3,000 a month, I think you're aiming too low, right? Let's shoot up for at least 10K per month, all right? So what does one economy car make, you guys? Going back to what I said, you're going to make anywhere from between $1,000 to $1,600 per month. All right. Now, if you want to hit 5,000, you need 3 of those. If you want to hit 10K, you need 6. See, that's the beautiful thing about the strategy and structure, the way we structured our pricing here in the academy is now you know your goal. All you have to do is set the right targets to hit that goal. All right. So now it's up to you to go get things in order to where you can scale to that point to hit your 10K per month. And this is why private is so much better than Turo, because I keep 100% of that $10,000. I'm not giving 40% up to Turo, right? I keep the whole thing myself. It's more predictable for me. It's not dependent on somebody else. I control everything. I own the platform. I own the book of business. And so it's predictable consistency if I go that route. And so that's why I love private all day, every day, than going to use a platform like Turo. Now, let's jump into the next section. And this is what I would do different this time, guys. So first off, I would just say the one shortcut. And this is something that I didn't do because when I started this, there wasn't anybody out there making YouTube videos like I'm making for you guys here, or with tons of Instagram videos for you guys to watch to get free information, or for me to even join their course or program. No, I would go seek out mentorship. So I would avoid all the costly mistakes that I made in this business, and so not have to go through that again. Like when I lost my Corvette, when my Rolls Royce got hit, several accidents and things that happened that were easily avoidable if I had the right processes and procedures in place. Or when I bought the wrong vehicles that ended up sucking the profit from all my winning vehicles, right? I made a lot of those mistakes. Even when I started buying the wrong economy cars, right? Buying the wrong luxury cars, buying the wrong exotic cars, buying problematic cars that stayed in the shop. Risk management. It took me years to build out the risk management program that I have now, to where every time a car goes out, we sleep well at night. We know our car is coming back. My staff, they have the right processes now. I don't have to micromanage them anymore. That took years of trial and error, of learning this stuff, right? Coming up, finding the systems. There's nobody out there giving that information. One of the most important things is just risk management, guys, and being able to find somebody that could teach me all of that. Give me the right rental contract. Guys, I've lost a claim because I didn't have a proper rental contract, right? I've lost a claim because of that, right? Something as minor as that could be the difference between you having a profitable year and then all of a sudden you're taking a $5,000 hit. Your car got totaled, your rental car contract wasn't on point, and now you lose the business. You lose out money completely, right? Several things like that. Man, when I started, I was using paper contracts. I didn't know better. That's some of the stuff that I would do if I was starting over. I would definitely seek out someone that has been there, someone that has experience, someone that's currently still doing it, and then I would go ahead and tap in with them for coaching, so that way I don't make the same mistakes. All right. Now, here's one thing that matters the most, and this is where I see a lot of people stumble, is they think everything needs to be perfect. All their ducks need to be lined up in a row before they get started. I always say imperfect action trumps perfect inaction. All right. Go out there, guys. Just get started. Go get that one car and get started. You don't know how to get started privately? List it on Turo, get your feet wet, right? Or go sign up for some mentorship so you don't make some mistakes. I would go take action first, right? Go commit to a mentorship or commit to getting a vehicle. And that way you start getting the knowledge, getting the information. And then that way you've committed to it, right? Burn the bridges, burn the boat, so that way you're in it and you're not looking back anymore. And guys, I assure you, the sky is the limit. All right. And so for me personally, if I had to do it over again, I would only start off with the one car, right? Rent it out, prove that it works, and then immediately quickly start to scale. All right. Don't sit there admiring the one car forever. You get a car today, and by the end of the week, that car's already rented out. I'm looking to buy the second car in a week and the next week, right? So you start to quickly scale because now you have proof of concept, and then you're off to the races. Now we start to try to get to the 6 cars so we can hit our $10,000 per month. And so look, if I lost everything tomorrow, guys, I would follow this exact blueprint. All right. Like I said, I'm going to buy the right economy car the right way, or if it's a luxury car, I'll buy it the right way, get it rented out privately. Then I'm going to use the profits and the proceeds from that to go buy my second vehicle. And I'm just going to keep on going until I hit that $10,000 a month. And literally, that's it, guys. So if you want the same proven system that over 1,700 students all across the country are using to build their own private car rental business, go ahead and click the first link in the description to book your strategy call with a member of my team, or even me. All right. And then we can see how we can help you if you're a good fit for my academy. All right. Now, guys, this video was just a quick overview, all right, of what I would focus on if I was starting over from scratch. All right. But if you want the complete step-by-step system, all right, the exact cars to buy, the exact insurance to get, how to set everything up, how to screen your customers, how to grow from 1 car to 10 cars to 20 cars to 30 plus cars, I've created a whole blueprint that breaks this down. So guys, if you're serious about building this business, click the link to join our academy, and I'll see you guys on the inside.